Dr. Zixith had conducted pain threshold experiments on over 47 different species across the galaxy. The Galactic Medical Consortium required comprehensive data on each species' physiological limits before approving them for deep space missions. It was routine work, clinical, predictable, and usually concluded within a few standard hours. The human specimen was different. Subject designation, human male adult Earth designation Marcus, Zixith dictated to his neural recorder. Beginning standard pain threshold protocol. Marcus sat strapped to the examination table, electrodes attached to his skin. Unlike previous subjects who had arrived trembling or sedated, the human appeared almost bored. He had volunteered for the testing, which itself was unusual. Most species had to be coerced or compensated heavily. "We'll start with level 1 electrical stimulation," Zixith announced through the translator. "Please indicate when the sensation becomes unbearable." The first pulse would have sent a Rigelian into convulsions. Marcus barely flinched. "That's it?" Marcus asked, raising an eyebrow. "My electric toothbrush hits harder than that." Zixith's 3 eyes widened. He checked his instruments twice. The readings were correct. He increased the intensity to level 3, a setting that had hospitalized 2 Centaurians the previous month. Marcus yawned. "Level 5, Zixith muttered, his tentacles dancing nervously over the controls. This was the threshold that had caused a Andromedan to pass out from shock. "Getting warmer," Marcus commented conversationally. "So, Doc, how long have you been doing this gig?" Zixith stared at his readings in disbelief. The human's vital signs remained stable. His neural activity showed mild interest, the same pattern Zixith had observed in subjects examining particularly fascinating art. "Perhaps we should try thermal testing," Zixith suggested, switching to the heat apparatus. The metal plate beneath Marcus's palm began to glow. At 45 degrees Celsius, most species would be screaming. At 55 degrees, they would be begging for mercy. The human didn't react until the temperature hit 70 degrees. "Okay, that's getting uncomfortable," Marcus admitted. "Reminds me of the time I grabbed a panhandle without thinking. My wife still makes fun of me for that." Zixith's datapad clattered to the floor. No species had ever maintained casual conversation during thermal testing. The Vegan delegation had declared the procedure torture at half this temperature. "Let's try pressure testing," Zixith said, his voice cracking slightly. The pneumatic clamps closed around Marcus's forearm, applying gradually increasing pressure. Zixith watched the readings climb past every recorded threshold. The device was exerting enough force to crack the exoskeleton of a mantoid warrior. Marcus winced slightly. "That's pretty tight. Feels like the blood pressure cuff at my doctor's office, but crankier." "Impossible," Zixith whispered. He activated the emergency release, expecting to find the human's arm severely damaged. Instead, Marcus flexed his fingers experimentally and shrugged. "Not bad, Doc. What's next?" For the next 6 hours, Zixith subjected Marcus to every pain stimulus in the facility's arsenal. Sonic bombardment that had driven crystalline beings to madness produced only mild annoyance. Chemical irritants that had caused gaseous species to disperse entirely made Marcus sneeze a few times. "You guys need to try capsaicin," Marcus suggested helpfully during the chemical testing. "Now that stuff will clear your sinuses." As the day wore on, word spread through the research facility. Scientists from other departments began crowding around the observation windows. Dr. Klepton, the facility director, arrived with the entire ethics committee. "This is unprecedented," Dr. Klepton declared, his gill slits fluttering with agitation. "The readings suggest this creature's pain tolerance exceeds our equipment's maximum output." "That's not even the strangest part," whispered Dr. Vashati, pointing at the neural readouts. "Look at his brain activity during the procedures." The patterns were unlike anything in the medical literature. Instead of the standard fear and trauma responses, Marcus's neural activity showed curiosity, mild entertainment, and something the computers identified as anticipation. "He's enjoying this," Dr. Vashati breathed. "Not enjoying exactly," Marcus corrected, having overheard through the intercom. "But pain is just information, right? It tells you something's wrong so you can fix it. Once you know that, it's just noise." Dr. Zixith slumped in his chair. "This explains so many things about humans," he muttered. "Like what?" Marcus asked. "Your recreational activities," Zixith said weakly. The report spoke of humans who voluntarily jump from aircraft, climb frozen waterfalls, and run until their bodies begin consuming themselves for fuel. We thought these were mistranslations. Marcus laughed. Nah, that's accurate. We call those sports. The research team exchanged horrified glances. Dr. Klepton activated his emergency communicator. Get me the Galactic Council, he ordered. Priority Alpha. We need to revise the human classification immediately. From what to what? His assistant asked. From suitable for standard operations to... He paused, watching Marcus chat cheerfully with the technicians while they applied another experimental pain stimulus. To approach with extreme caution. Pain is not an effective deterrent. 3 days later, the first memo went out to all galactic medical facilities. Notice human pain threshold testing discontinued indefinitely. Reason: testing equipment insufficient. No species has volunteered for comparative studies following human trials. Several researchers have requested psychological counseling. Marcus, meanwhile, had signed up for the facility's experimental endurance testing. I hear you guys have some really interesting equipment in that department, he told Dr. Zixith enthusiastically. Dr. Zixith transferred to theoretical physics the next morning. It was safer than studying creatures who treated agony as a minor inconvenience and considered suffering an interesting intellectual puzzle. The human classification in the galactic database was updated one final time. Species designation: human. Recommendation: never attempt to use pain as leverage, deterrent, or bargaining tool. They will outlast your equipment, your patience, and possibly your sanity. Approach with respect, they're tougher than they look. And in smaller text added by a traumatized researcher, they think our torture devices are kind of neat.